Right. So the shit that got me so interested, honestly, in Dragonflight, because let's be real, right? The cinematic trailer, all of that, was all just a little bit lukewarm. Even as someone who hasn't played WoW on retail in like 4 years. And man, is that even counting the 1 month that I played of BFA before I just said, you know what, fuck this, I'm out? I don't know. It's been a long time, you know, and I've been trying to keep up to date with the story where I can, and kind of following just quietly, I guess, while I play other games, which has been great. Even me, as such a distant observer, looking at the Dragonflight trailer and stuff, it was all just very, I don't know, tepid. Like, people weren't really reacting to it. It was like the least climactic trailer I think that they've released for an expansion in a long while, and a lot of people read that as a negative, you know what I mean? A lot of people looked at that and thought to themselves, oh man, fuck it, Blizzard have give up, they've give up, you know? But then again, there was always the people who, you know, arguably have a little bit of copium about them, and we're talking about, oh no man, Blizzard is just going to go back to basics, right? They're not trying to overhype it, they're not trying to oversell it, okay? They're going to go back to basics, fuck all of this, new system shit. They're going to go back to the fundamentals, and this expansion could actually really knock it out of the park, man, by not trying to do too much, you know? And the more that we see of the expansion, now that the alpha's out, and we've seen a few of the new talent trees, and we've seen, you know, some of the new zones, both of which I'm going to talk about in just a sec, those goddamn copium huffers might actually be right. We might actually be going back to a style of WoW that's just a little bit more simplistic. It's a little bit more grounded. Thank Christ, because trying to follow the story as an outside observer through Shadowlands, that was rough, man. That was a challenge, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, talent trees came out. I was fiddling around with the Death Knight talent tree last night. I was fiddling around with the Hunter talent tree last night. And man, it appears that you can like summon Ghoul now as a Frost DK, and you can pick up Explosive Shot as a marksman, and Intimidation as a marksman hunter and stuff like that. And wow, dude, there's like a lot of... There's more customization there than I was expecting. Now, will these new talent trees be immediately cookie-cutted, right? Will they immediately be metagamed? Will they immediately be solved? And you just have to follow a certain build if you want to, you know, raid at a decent level, or if you want to PvP at a decent level. Yeah, of course they will, right? Of course they will. This is WoW, this is how these things go. But at the same time, for somebody like me who... You know, when I play a WoW, arenas were never my focus, raiding was never my focus. It was, for me, just about doing whatever the hell I wanted to do. And most of the time that was, honestly, Battleground, more like chill stuff. It was shit like Battlegrounds, it was shit like Battleground achievements, it was shit like World PvP, and whatever, that kind of crap, right? And with a little bit of arenas on the side, mostly just because I needed the arena gear, you know? So for me, being able to tweak and build a unique little talent tree like that and build something that I find fits my own style, that's really fucking appealing, man. I've got to be honest, you know. And while it's not going to win me any invites to, I don't know, like a super high rated arena team or whatever, that honestly doesn't fucking matter to me at this point. Too old for that shit. I don't care, okay? But yeah, the talent trees were the first thing that really got me interested as soon as those were released and or data mined. The next thing, the zones, dude. Just checking out Bellular's reactions, because Bellular did a video where he took a good tour through a lot of the zones, and he was looking at the goddamn the Tuskar and the random Furbolgs that are roaming around and stuff, and I was like, wow, man, the zone looked just like Grizzly Hills or like a Wrath zone, you know? And it just felt really nostalgic. It felt like one big callback, you know? Which, again, is similar to the talent trees, by the way. It felt like a return to older times. It felt like a return to more comfortable times and to more grounded times. None of this cosmic shit, right? We're getting back to just what WoW was all about, which is you're just a goddamn adventurer roaming around, looking for adventure, doing your thing, playing the game that you, in the way that you want to play it. Now, obviously, I'm assuming a little bit there. We don't know really much about the endgame systems just yet, but the overall aesthetic of the game is just so much more appealing than I think it has been for the past few years from what I've seen, given that I didn't play, you know, so maybe you guys can correct me if I'm wrong about that. But yeah, the thing about that's just way more fucking gripping, you know? Now, the negatives about Dragonflight, because we gotta be real about this. I think that there's some people who are getting a little bit carried away with the hype train. I definitely don't want to be one of those people. I think that overall, most people are looking at the expansion through very, very healthy eyes. They're looking through a healthy, somewhat jaded lens. but they're looking at each feature and saying, okay, that looks decent. Let's see how it's implemented. Let's see how the alpha shapes up. I need to see a little bit more of this and this and this before I make my mind up. People are being pretty realistic, I think, which is something new, right? Maybe the Dragonflight trailer had something to do with that. People's expectations aren't through the roof. People aren't running away on hype trains, you know? So that's good. That's a good thing, you know? Cautiously optimistic. Exactly, Paddy. That's what I'm talking about, man. Cautious optimism. I think that's just best, you know? For me, it's still a coin toss's chance whether I'm going to try out Dragonflight or not. I'm liking what I see so far, but we really need more information. And I think that is the biggest negative right now, is the absolute silence on what the endgame will look like. And the absolute silence on whether or not there are going to be new systems, things like Azerite and whatever, you know, that are going to be introduced. The fact that we've heard nothing about them could be a positive. We just don't know yet, you know. It might mean that there are going to be no new huge experimental and potentially groundbreaking, but also potentially disastrous new systems, you know. We just don't fucking know, man. And I think that's what the healthy skepticism bundif, exactly, man. There's so many ways of the English language, isn't it, a gift? So many ways of saying the same thing. I think that's the best place to be right now, you know. Hey guys, quick ad. Down below in the video description you will find a link to our Twitch channel, Cobrak TV. Head on down there, click the goddamn link, and follow the channel to be notified when we next stream. It's going to be a grand old time, and I shall see you there. Alright, on with the video. God damn it. It's hard to draw the line between being a little bit too optimistic or just being optimistic versus huffing the copium. But I feel like it's possible. Okay. It's possible, with the little that we know right now, that the distinct lack of information that we have is actually because there's just not that much more information to give. Maybe the end game will just literally be like mythics, raiding, and PvP seasons, you know? Maybe that's it. Maybe some little side activities that you can do on the side, and the Dragonflying, I guess, is kind of half of one of those. It's not really it's a new feature, but is it a thing that you're going to be logging into the game to do? I don't really know if it counts as a feature or not. Like, you guys decide. But maybe the lack of all of these new features and the lack of new systems and whatever is actually not a bad thing. Maybe it just means that they'll actually focus on getting the fundamentals correct. And again, this is like harkening back to that idea of it's a return to simpler times. It's a return to simpler times, simpler zones, more grounded stories, old school talent trees with some embellishments. And maybe that's just not a bad thing. Now, I don't want to go out of the way and start to say shit like, oh, well, now that they can, if there's going to be like no new systems, that means Blizzard can focus all of their shit on getting like raids really, really perfect and getting PvP like super balanced and all that. Like, whoa, 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 calm down, right? Assuming that PvP is going to be balanced just because Blizzard have more time to focus on it. No, man, that's definitely not assured, you know? PvP is always a dice roll, man, with like every fucking expansion. It feels like sometimes Blizzard try real hard and it's worse than ever. And sometimes they've like ignored PvP almost completely and it's been fucking awesome, you know? So I don't know, dude. You never know how it's going to turn out until like a month or two after launch, once people are actually somewhat geared and you can look at the ladders and actually get some data. You know what I mean? Now, I gotta be real. I gotta take a bit of a step back and talk a little bit about my personal stance on WoW. Obviously, I haven't played in so fucking long. I tried to play a little bit of Classic. I played for like a month and a half, did a few molten cores, and I was like, you know what, dude? Fuck this, man. This feels like a job, right? And it's the same reason that I quit BFA after like 1 month. I was like, I just don't have time for this shit, man. You know? Full-time job. I like to do lots of other shit in my life. I enjoy writing. I enjoy going to the gym. I enjoy playing other video games, you know? And other video games have the benefit of not needing to keep up with a ton of shit. So if it's true, what Ian said in a recent interview, according to you guys, if it's true that there's going to be less weekly chores, that's a really fucking good thing for people like me, you know? So I really hope that that is the case. We're just not going to know until launch. We're just not going to know until launch, man. So, dude, I cannot come anywhere close to confirming or denying if this is going to be something that I even want to try out. You know what I mean? Like, maybe it's something I'll try out a month after launch, once I have more information, you know? Maybe it's something I'll try for a week, and then be like, okay, I gotta get back to work, fuck this, I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I just don't know where I stand on it. I just don't know where I stand. I don't know what my work schedule will look like in 5 months when the game releases. I just don't know fuck all, man. But I will say, I'm watching very, very closely. Oh, I'll also mention, fuck WoW tokens. Just gonna throw that in there. Might seem completely out of the blue, but again, as someone who's been away from the game for so long, and then talking to people who still do play, and just seeing and hearing about what WoW tokens have done to the fucking community, you know, and not just to the community, but to like the meta of gearing in game and boost selling, and I mean basically soft pay to win. It's fucking ridiculous, man. Dude, and it's so fucking depressing as well, right? Because look, I was banned, right, permanently, okay, for buying gold back in Wrath of the Lich King, right? Went to some fucking shady ass gold seller, okay, I had like an hour a day to play the goddamn video game, on a family computer, you know? So I get home from college, half the time my dad's already home, he's on fucking eBay, you know? Big old boomer dad on fucking eBay, so he'd be there for 3 hours buying motorbike parts and shit. Then I finally get on the computer and my brother's whining behind me because he wants to fucking play some WoW. So it's like I got like an hour to play. I don't fucking have time to do shit, okay? So stupidly, 17-year-old me buys some fucking gold. I bought like 3k gold so I could finally afford, get the rest of the gold that I needed for epic flying and to buy dual talent specialization, which was 1,000 gold when it came out, you know? 3 months later, I tried to sign in. Oh man. Dick shrunk and everything. Blood fell from my face. Account permanently closed, dude. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I couldn't believe it. My life was over. It was just dreadful, man. It was just dreadful. So you can imagine my dismay, my disparagement, my disgruntlement, and how disheveled I was when Blizzard eventually decided selling gold themselves. You know what I'm saying? Blizzard just started selling gold themselves, and all this shit that they're piping off about, oh, we need to maintain the integrity of the video game. We need to make sure that it's fair for everybody, and it's good for the community if we, you know, we stop these gold sellers. And then it's like, oh yeah, by the way, we sell gold now. It's like, man, are you fucking serious, you know? So all that shit that they were rattling off was just a load of bollocks, you know? So yeah, I fucking hate WoW tokens, I hate what they've done to the game, and they will always be like a tumor on the game, as far as I'm concerned. So honestly, they are actually a large part of considering whether or not coming back to the game is even worth it, man. You know what I mean? Because if you gotta come back and you basically have to buy gold in order to keep up. I don't know if that's the case. I have no idea if that's actually the case, but if you have to buy gold in order to keep up, or for like the first month or two, you're gonna be way behind people because they've just bought all these BOEs and shit. That you just have no hope of ever affording, and like everybody's fucking doing that shit. That seems pretty shite, doesn't it, really? So I hope that it's not the case. Yeah, at least you can't get banned anymore, Flip. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, man? Yeah, you just buy it from Blizzard, man, you're good. It's a safe and secure way to purchase gold, as Blizzard would say, you know? And we get the money, by the way. Oh, and also, they also make like $5 profit on every single WoW token that's bought, as well. You know what I'm saying? They just have to cash in, you know? So those are all that's all of the shite that I'm taking into consideration when making the decision as to whether or not I'm going to actually try out Dragonflight, man. Early days, we've seen the tip of the iceberg at this point, and the tip, no euphemisms intended, is looking pretty shiny and pretty positive, man. So we'll just see how things shape up, man. That's all else I really got to say, you know?